Hello guys, and welcome to another Honkai Star Rail video. Alright, so once again I'll be going over some Memory of Chaos gameplay footage. This time around proved to be much more difficult than the previous season, just due to the memory turbulence not benefiting either of my teams. I mean, I have March 7th, but honestly her follow-up attacks are rather random depending on which enemy attacks you, and they also have to be shielded. I also made a couple of minor mistakes, but that's always to be expected. Sometimes you just aren't able to make the correct decision at the time and moment. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoy the gameplay, and hopefully you guys learn something from my gameplay as well. Okay, so we start off the fight with two Ting Young techniques, Bailu's technique, and then we initiate with Zilei's technique. And immediately I start spamming my 3 key so we can get off Ting Young's ultimate before the turn starts. That way we get the most use of her energy. Pop Zilei's ultimate before her resurgence procs. Here I'm deciding which target to pick. Unfortunately that skill was not able to finish it off, but that's fine. We should still be able to clear this first wave before the first cycle ends. It also gives us some time to generate some skill points for the next cycle, or the next wave. Alright, second wave. I actually mess up here. I tried to spam both Silver Wolf and Zilei's ultimate as fast as I could. Usually, or obviously, you want to do Silver Wolf's first in order to defense break the robot, but unfortunately I fat-fingered Zilei's ultimate first. So as a result, I chose to not use Zilei's ultimate on the robot. Instead, we used it on that mob to the side in order to gain that resurgence buff. And sometimes if the numbers are right, like I land all my crits, I'm actually able to clear this fat robot before he even has a turn. Unfortunately, this time around, we messed up, so he's able to summon the 2 soldiers and use his AoE attack, which actually procs a really annoying debuff that slows your entire team. And this debuff is actually permanent, so when we move on to the next wave, our entire team's going to be slowed. We cleared off the 2 soldiers, so that's good for us. He gets a huge defense reduction debuff here. I probably shouldn't have ulted here, or at least maybe I should have generated a few skill points before I ulted there. I get very unlucky here, and my Zileigh gets targeted twice. Luckily, we had Bailu. I probably should have reacted faster and used Bailu's ultimate the minute my Zileigh got hit that first time, but you know, so it happens. Mistakes happens. So you can never really predict these things. Alright, both of them are using that annoying stack thing that makes them deal like that giant AoE damage. Really annoying. Here I'm deciding on whether or not I should focus on the one to the left, or if I should apply weakness. I ended up applying weakness to the one on the right, but using my ultimate to the target on the left, which is the one I will be trying to focus down. Zileigh's ultimate is able to break the target on the left, and I decide to go for the one on the right in order to reduce the amount of stacks she has, because the less amount of stacks she has, the less damage she's going to deal. So my team is safe. And I have to play really safe here because my Bailu already used up her 1 revive. So if any of my teammates die here, it's for reals. Here I'm deciding on whether I check here to see if she still has the defense debuff from Silverwolf. She did, so I decide to just go for it and kill off the one on the left before I focus the one on the right. Ting Young very close to dying here. Here I make a decision. I was like, should I play it safe and use my E to heal Ting Young? Which I did, luckily, because she gets targeted right here. If I didn't, that would have been the end of the run. So here I decide to basic attack to generate enough energy for Zealei's ultimate. The reason why I didn't use my skill is because I didn't have Ting Young's attack buff here. So that skill would have sort of been wasted. And surprisingly enough, my Zealey is actually able to deal enough damage to finish them off here. Alright, second node. Start off with Dan Hung's technique and start the fight with Pela's technique. There's Pela's ultimate for the defense shred. Deciding on whether or not I want to freeze that opponent, I decided that it'd be probably a good idea. And Dan Hung's ultimate on a target that's not slowed. Unfortunately, it didn't crit, so it did not deal that much damage. Heal Pela here with Natasha. They really like focusing my Pela, apparently. I got lucky here and they didn't focus her. They did. That would have been the end of our run. Here I decided to remove the buff, the revive buff from the second Mara struck enemy. And another Pela ultimate for the defense shred. Here I'm deciding which target I want to kill off. Ended up picking this one for some reason. Here I'm deciding whether or not I should shield Pela or use Natasha's heal, the heal Pela. On second thought, I probably should have used March's shield, since it would have generated more energy for her ultimate, versus Natasha already has her ultimate, so even if I use her skill, the energy regeneration is just going to waste. But either way, wouldn't make much of a difference in my opinion. Alright, we're gonna save our ultimates here because these enemies are almost dead. Generating some skill points for the next wave. Here I'm deciding on who I should heal. Alright, and on to the second wave. Here's Pela's ultimate for the defense shred, immediately followed up by March's ultimate for the freeze. Unfortunately, I have to use my skill here to apply the slow. A bit of a waste in energy, and I just removed the buff from the general there. Forgot to mention that. I shielded Dan Hung for the talent trigger for the extra wind penetration, comboed with his ultimate. Reapply the shield of March as it is dropping to a very low amount. If I didn't do that, that general's piercing attack would have pierced through March's original shield. Reapply the defense shred with Pela's ultimate. Unfortunately, I had to use my... Well, I didn't have to, but I felt like it was a good time to heal my Natasha. That unfortunately triggers Dan Hung's talent at a awkward time when he doesn't have his ultimate up. So instead of here, I have to use his ultimate without the extra wind penetration, but it still does a good 40k damage. That's pretty decent. Doesn't quite finish him off. He has a little bit of HP left here. Luckily, he's just targeting March here. And here's March's ultimate. That should finish off the general. All that's left is the soldier with the cannon. For some reason, I don't know why, I'm pretty sure that was a misclick. I healed my March for some reason there. I think I meant to heal either Dan Hung or Natasha, but yeah. Sometimes it's just an error caused by pressing your keys too quickly. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Dan Hung. Oh man. Healing a full HP March for no reason. Complete waste of skill points there. Alright, so unfortunately, Natasha gets dominated. So I'm going to have to use March 7's shield here shortly to cleanse her. There's the defense shred from Palo's ultimate. I also removed the healing buff from the general. March's ultimate to freeze them. Unfortunately, Kafka resists it. She has a very high resistance to freeze. So if you ever do end up freezing Kafka, consider yourself pretty lucky. Natasha's ultimate here for the Dan Hung talent trigger. Does about 40k damage, 45k, not too bad. Heal Natasha herself, I believe. Or do I basic here? I think I ended up basicing for the skill point. Oh, I decided to shield instead of heal her. Okay, yeah. I decided to use March 7 shield instead. There's the Pela ultimate once again for defense shred. And of course, we're going to be focusing Kafka down first. I forgot to mention that. Because the general is like, he does a lot of damage. And since we got rid of his healing buff, he's not that much of a threat. Versus Kafka, she does a lot of damage and she'll constantly dominate one of your allies every couple of turns. So it gets really annoying even though I have 2 Dispellers on my team. Shield March herself. Here I'm waiting. I haven't popped Natasha's ultimate yet because I'm trying to combo it with Dan Hung's talent. So he gets the wind penetration. Yeah, it's... Oh, and yeah, Dan almost dies here. If I got unlucky here and that one Mars struck soldier targeted Dan, this run would have been over. So a little bit RNG luck on my side there. But luckily we do get to... what do you call it? Unfortunately, that hit didn't crit. The ultimate didn't crit. That really sucks. But we did get to combo the ultimate with Dan Hung's talent, luckily there. For some reason, Natasha's always getting targeted by the domination. Luckily, Kafka's not targeting my 2 squishies either, because they are not shielded. They can easily get one-shotted by her at any point in time. Hence why I'm shielding Pela at the moment. Oh, Dan Hung got hit, unluckily there. If this attack hit Dan Hung, would have been over. So, Got quite a bit of lucky RNG in this run. Decide to freeze the general. Kafka, surprisingly enough, got frozen this time around, so it's pretty good. Here I'm waiting for either Natasha's ultimate, yep, to trigger Dan Hung's talent once again with his ultimate. Hopefully it crits this time. It does, but it only did 36k damage. Oh, that's because she doesn't have the defense shred from Pela. Now I have Pela's ultimate. But obviously I'm not going to be holding Dan Hung's ultimate for that long, along with Natasha's ultimate, because my team needs to heal. He's gonna chunk Pela to very low HP. Pop March's ultimate immediately to freeze the general. Don't have any skill points, so we have to auto here. Shield Pela so she doesn't die. Alright, he summons more soldiers for the healing buff again. 1% HP, but I think she dies to the follow-up here. Yep. Freeze the general. I'm trying to prevent the general from attacking here, so I can dispel the healing debuff, but unfortunately, Pela doesn't... I don't have any skill points, so Pela can't dispel the buff. So running into a bit of an issue here, where he's going to heal up a lot of the damage he's been taking, and that's going to make my run a lot slower than it already is. Here I decide to just try and break the general as fast as possible. And we're able to do it with Dan Hung here. Unfortunately, it doesn't push him far enough to the point where I'm able to remove the buff from his healing buff with Pela. So unfortunately he's going to heal up a little bit here. But it's not too bad. It's not as bad as when he does that piercing attack. I just removed the buff there with Pela. When he does that piercing attack, he heals so much. If he used that piercing attack when he had the healing buff on him, he probably would have healed past to like 60% HP or something. It's ridiculous. Okay. Got frozen again. Now we only have, I believe, 2 cycles left in order to obtain 3 stars, so I'm really rushing it at this point. Now we only got 1 cycle left. So really focusing on just killing the general as fast as possible. Luckily that he didn't target Natasha. I don't think that piercing attack would have killed Natasha, but it would have brought her to a very low amount of HP. Auto into immediate defense shred. And here I make a very, I think, smart decision. I save my ultimate from Dan Hung. Allow March to trigger his talent. And here we get to do a large amount of damage. 50k to finish the general off. Alright guys, well that's going to be it for this Honkai Star Rail video. If you guys have any questions or anything to add, please let me know in the comments below. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next Honkai Star Rail video. Peace.
Wanna spy? Disappear among the